Every summer, I leave home and I travel to another country. My growth has a sound. It's the airport announcement rolling through the terminal, slightly distorted, and reminding me that it's time to leave. It's my parents' tight hug and their words in my ear saying, "Text us when you land safely." It's my own breath, uneven, as I try not to cry. Hi, I'm Catherine. I love home a little too much. And for my whole life, leaving home felt like tearing something that was holding me together. Look at this picture. I prepared to travel to Poland when I was 11, standing in line and feeling a little bit nervous. The same as the first time I traveled abroad. I was 8 when I went to a summer camp in the UK, which was the first time I traveled to a different country without my parents. At the airport, I remember that I stood in line with other classmates, suitcase beside me. And I hid deep in the group so that my parents couldn't see my face clearly. I kept wiping my eyes before the tears could fully fall. My mom took a photo of me before the security. Unfortunately, I cannot find this picture now. But I remember that in a picture, I was smiling, and I tried so hard to be excited actually, because I didn't want my parents to take the sadness with them. When it was time to go through the security, I turned back. I saw my parents waving. Their figures grew smaller, then blurred. I walked forward quickly so they wouldn't notice anything. In London, I was lively in the daylight. I joined activities, I introduced myself with confidence, and laughed loudly. But at night, in the dormitory, when the light all went out, everything felt louder. The silence, the distance, the different touch of the mattress, and the different smell of the room. I lay still and stared at the white ceiling. I missed the sound, my family talking and laughing in the next room. I also miss knowing exactly where I belonged. So I started to worry about what I should do the following nights. Just crying every night? My pillow absorbed a lot of things that I couldn't say. One corner of it was almost soaked through. Years later, in high school, I traveled abroad again, this time to attend a summer program in Barnard College. I told myself that I had grown up. I have more experiences traveling alone, and I should know how to handle it. The journey there was fine, like I'd expected. I texted my parents when I landed safely in New York. I finished the orientation, I explored the food choices in the cafeteria, and finally moved safely into my dorm room. The night before the program started, I was laying on my bed and scrolling through a student group chat. I saw messages kept appearing, and new friendships formed instantly. Students from everywhere, they're fluent English and different cultures. Inside jokes already began. I felt small again. The anxiety built quietly. My tears came out, just like before. But this time, I didn't hide. I made a phone call to my mom. When she answered, I said, "I miss home." My voice trembled. There was a long pause, and she answered softly, "I miss you too, my dear, but you have to learn to face things on your own." She actually said a lot of words to me, and I thought her words were thought-provoking. After a packed day of lectures and activities, I lay on my bed at night in the dormitory, staring at a different white ceiling. The position felt similar. The same darkness, the same stillness, and the same tight feeling in my chest. They also reminded me of a question that I have came up with in primary school in the UK. But something inside me was different this time. I didn't try to muffle my feeling to myself because I knew I could miss home but still show up the next morning. I knew I could feel nervous inside but still speak up confidently in class. That was when I understood what echo means in my life. An echo is a sound that turns back. It carries a shape from the original, but traveling in a different path. When I was laying in that dorm room, I could almost see my younger self in the UK, staring at another white ceiling. In primary school, I thought that strength meant keeping all the struggles and tears to myself. But in high school, I learned that I can show my vulnerable sides and still stand on my own. Leaving home will always probably be hard for me because I love deeply and I attach deeply. That's just a part of myself. There will be more airports, more unfamiliar rooms, and more nights when everything feels too quiet and too overwhelming. But now, when this feeling returns, I recognize it. I let it sit by my side. I let it breathe. Growth has never been a straight line forward. It feels like a sound that's bouncing off and coming back clearer and stronger. I realized that the two moments were echoing with each other. Me in high school, remember the question that I came up with in primary school in the UK. An echo is not a repetition. It is a reflection of my growth. When the sound turns back, but with slightly different results, I saw a conversation between time and space. The younger version of me, crying quietly in the darkness, was the beginning of the sound and growth. Me in high school received the sound and generated echo, starting to become the person that I would like to be. What I truly learned was independence and toughness. But they can actually exist simultaneously with weakness, which means I don't have always hide all my emotions to the closest people to me. Echo feels like something that is guiding me after those two experiences, always acting as a reminder. I know the experience in New York was not the last time I remember the question and hear the echo I generated. There will be more departures and more difficulties waiting for me in the future. There will even be more nights that I stay still, that I might cry, and repetitively ask myself questions. Growth, from a perspective, has never been a straight line forward in a linear direction. It is actually a returning of emotions and memories from previous experiences. I may always remember how sadly I cried and how I love my home deeply. But now, I won't see them as terrible things that I cannot show to my parents. I can express all my emotions to my warm home while facing and dealing with difficulties independently. I heard the echo from my home after those two experiences. I'm not learning to become a person that is fearless. Actually, I'm learning to become a person who feels everything fully, who calls home when she needs to, and a person who steps forward on her own path bravely. That's the echo I carried with me. Thank you.